Let's go for it. Hello guys, and welcome to episode 12 of the Five Guys Talking Shite podcast. I am Glaswegian BR, and as usual, I've got with me Sam McRae, Rhys O'Hara, Cami, and G. And today we are graced with the presence of Batchy. What's happening, dude?
How's it going, mate? Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for coming on. That's great. So we want to bounce a few questions off you. Have a conversation. I've also got a fun wee thing to do halfway through that I think you'll enjoy.
A fun thing?
Yeah.
That sounds ominous.
Just a light shaving of eyebrows.
Am I going to need to make an apology video after this?
No.
I think we all do.
I should have made an apology video for the statements I've said in this podcast 3 episodes ago, to be quite honest with you, but hey ho.
Yeah. Sounds about right.
So, Batchy, you've recently hit 74k subs. Good stuff, man.
Thank you. Yes.
Honestly,
yesterday actually I was sitting in a taxi with Gogsy on the way to the pub. Yep.
I just subbed to you today, so you got an extra one. Whoop whoop.
Yes. Yeah. Move up in the world.
You've came a long way, because it was only 3 or 4 years ago on your YouTube you did an 1,000 subs video. So you're
Jesus Christ, how far back have you been watching?
Oh, I've been preparing for this one, don't you worry.
Jesus Christ.
I've been looking at the Resi 6, the GTA videos and all that. It's been a good laugh.
Smashing.
So see, back when you started with YouTube, did you? This is probably a common question a lot of people get asked, and I know I'm going to get the simple answer. Did you expect it to reach this height?
Of course. Oh, you've always got to believe in yourself. No, I did not.
I was like, he's definitely talking shit.
I always believed in myself. My mum always told me that you can do it.
You could be that YouTube star, Batchy.
You can be that fucking disgrace to Scotland. We always believed in it. No, I don't know. It was just I think everybody you start up is just a kind of mad idea. I knew a lot of people who took off on YouTube at that time, so it started to give me a little bit of belief, but I was always kind of quite reserved in my expectations. I think I done a podcast with somebody a few years back, and at the time I had like 3,000, and I'd always said that like 10,000 would be like a kind of, was always like my internal goal. It was like, if I ever reached that, I'd be really happy. Obviously, well, here we are now, kind of grinding our way towards 100k.
That's crazy.
You're gonna rub that one on your son's face.
One day.
Hoping you get that play button.
Oh, I can't wait.
That's amazing. Will you film his reaction, like when you, if and when you get the play button?
I don't know if I'd post it. I probably would film it, but I don't know if I would post it. I always tend to keep my son out in my videos and stuff like that. Just because I know I walk a fine line with what I do, and I'm one Logan Paul incident away from bringing all sorts of hate on my family. So that's why I would never ever get them involved in anything like that. But yeah, no, I would probably film it for my own benefit, just so I can show them it back every day and remind them.
look what your dad did.
This is your sad crying face when you said you didn't believe in me.
You proud of me yet, son? Are you?
See, I honestly say this, right? I don't think it would matter if I had 100 million subs. I don't think it would matter if I was the largest creator on the platform. To him, I'll always be a dick, you know?
Definitely.
That's just how you're supposed to view your dad, though, so I don't blame you.
That is exactly what it is. Like, it doesn't matter what you do. I could be the most incredible, talented, creative person in the world. I'll still just be an absolute wanker. So I should have asked, actually. Swearing's alright, aye?
Oh, aye.
Yeah.
I mean, the podcast called Five Guys Talking Shite. I'd be disappointed if it wasn't.
I mean, to be fair, I assumed that much, but, you know, you always got to ask.
No, you swear, you say what you want, man. I mean, I ain't going to censor anything. I really don't give a
fuck for that.
Exactly. So I'll pop a question off of me, and then I'll let the guys here go off on you. Well, not off on you, I hope not, unless Rhys has got any pent-up anger towards you. But
just met the guy.
You're the man. Well, you're basically the creator behind Create Scotland. Aye. How long ago was it you formed Create Scotland?
Initially,
Yeah.
So Create Scotland was started about 5 years ago. Nobody will know this because it was so fucking long ago and I'd never been heard of. I started Create Scotland about 5 years ago with Cruiser. You probably know Cruiser.
Yeah. Love his music.
Yeah.
And a couple of other guys as well at the time who never really kind of gave up a while back. It started out as a Skype group. That's how long ago it was when people actually used Skype. I messaged Cruiser through the message box on YouTube, which is another fucking defunct setting on YouTube. That was how I first met Cruiser. He was doing some stupid thing on GTA, and I think at the time I had like 300 subs. And I sent him a message about kind of networking and meeting other creators, and I was quite interested in this idea of Scottish YouTube because there wasn't really Scottish YouTube, so I was like, fuck it, let's just kind of, let's do some stuff together. So we formed that group about 5 years ago, and then Discord and stuff came about, and I think we properly started the actual server and stuff maybe about 2.5 years ago, something like that.
Yeah. It's really taken off as well. You in a way have the entire YouTube community in the palm of your hands, but yet they still think you're a dick.
I'll always be a dick though, that's something that's never going to change.
Here lies Batchy, a dick. That was
exactly.
The gravestone lies there.
Pretty much.
No, I love the concept of Create Scotland. When I joined it last year, Minder was started talking to you then, and I've not really met, but spoke to so many people that are on the platform now from it. Not even just creators. That I'm sorry, by the way, that banter subsection is cancerous sometimes.
The banter chat.
Yeah, but it's a good laugh. Bringing everyone together and having them networking it's working out really well, I think.
I had this discussion last night. I was in Edinburgh last night, like I was saying. It was like some sort of. I was there with the clean side of YouTube. What do you call it? Brand friendly. They were on some sort of night out, so I somehow managed to find myself invited to that. Fuck knows how. Like I'm the complete opposite of brand friendly, but I was there regardless. And we were talking about that. The idea is that if you can think of a YouTuber, almost any YouTuber, I can guarantee you'll name at least another 2 or 3 people who are involved in some way in the kind of content that they make. So you think Will Lenny, you think EXO, Stephen Tries, Drew Jordy, or if you're Sidemen, you think KSI, you think like the Sidemen obviously as well, Randolph, those kind of people. It's always people working collaboratively and working together. But when it comes to Scottish community, you think like Marley 13, you think Marley 13. Do you know what I mean? Like,
no. When I think Marley 13, I think noodles. That's all I know.
Noodles. Well, Noodles actually, yeah, true. But Noodles doesn't really do YouTube. Do you know what I mean? I mean, you think Ross Boomsocks, he's actually done okay for himself, but he does stuff with other non-Scottish YouTubers. And when I was starting, I never really had like somebody else, so that was kind of like my thinking was like, well, why don't we just all work together, kind of thing.
Yeah, and it really brings a variety to the content you put out. I mean, you could sit and do something solo for ages on end, and it could get stale after a wee while if it goes that way. But you bring on another content creator, and instantly you've got a different flavour in your video, and it just mixes together.
Video content and entertainment is something that's collaborative by nature. Like it's never like you watch anything on television. There's never just one person created that. You watch any film, it's never just one person that's created that. There's lots of people that are together to create that piece of content. And while YouTube is interesting, the idea of being able to create something by yourself, you always find it's more interesting when you work with other people.
Yeah.
Before I pass it on to these guys, I had a question my girlfriend wanted me to ask you earlier. How's Big Gary's Bins going?
Big Gary's Bins. I still get notifications in my email for that from people sending me messages asking about Big Gary's Bins.
If you guys don't know, in a video, Batchy set up his friend Gary as a business and TripAdvisor called Big Gary's Bins.
I mind that.
It's one of the funniest videos ever watched. When it's what's the description? I'm a bin.
Funnily enough, I've been trying to find it, and every time I go and look for it, I come up with about 40 other people saying they're Gary's bin. And nowhere to lie, I swear to God, I even saw one today with the catty.
Oh, Jesus.
Really? Aye.
Well, Gary's got some explaining to do if he's floating the fucking house, man. Come on.
I was sitting there looking at it, just like, what? Just I honestly thought it might be like maybe one of the bouncers or something who's thought, do you know what? That bin zone TripAdvisor, may as well make another.
Well, I mean,
It was a weird, stupid idea. You'll know me, like, when it comes to content, like, fucking, I like the random shit. When a random idea comes to my head, I'm like, let's just fucking do it. It's always about the execution, like,
yeah.
I always believe that because my ideas are so stupid, if I stop to think about them long enough, they'll fucking, like, you won't do them. I mean, if you look back on any of my videos, you probably, if you thought twice about it, you probably wouldn't have done that. Like sitting down with Cruiser and dyeing his hair pink. Which
I was about to say that.
Plans for the video. Just came out of nowhere, and I was like, do you know what? Fuck it, let's do it. Because see if we think about this again, we're not going to do it. So we just did it.
I love how spur of the moment it was. Like, it was just like, shall we go do it? No, we're going to do it, and like literally just left at that point to do it.
Me and Cruiser are the fucking poster children for ADHD. when the two of us are together, you never know what way it's going to go. Like, we did that trip around Scotland. We went every city in Scotland on a day to play Jenga. That was an idea we dreamed up like 3 days beforehand, and we're like, do you want to just do it? And it was like, fuck it. I was like, see if we think about it, we're going to back out. Let's just do it. We fucking did it. Nuts, but that's how we work usually.
Yeah.
Just don't touch his beard. That's a mighty fine beard. I think I've made that very public.
Cruiser's beard, man.
It's a good beard.
Right, so boys, pop your questions and have a gab with Batchy here. Don't be shy. He doesn't bite, I don't think.
I've been fed tonight, so you're alright.
I've actually got quite a probably one you've been asked a lot as well. Probably been partly answered from what I asked you. It was maybe, so like, what kind of made you decide to start YouTube? Like,
what made me decide to start it?
Like start your YouTube channel and stuff.
It initially started out as one of my friends he started his channel on Gears of War, so I was a big gamer at the time. I believe it or not, I only ever got internet like 6.5 years ago. Before that, I was like one of those mad offline gamers that used to play the campaign. I was one of those fucking weirdos. We eventually got internet. I lived in council houses for years, and like you weren't allowed to get internet installed because they had to drill into the wall and stuff like that. So I was just like, fuck it, I'll just play offline. I finally got the internet and met this guy online called Rab, Madman Rab. His channel's still up, but I think he gave up. He convinced me. He was like, "Oh, buy a PVR, it'll be cool. We'll make videos together and stuff like that." And I was like, "All right, cool, let's do it." And then he fucked off and left me, and I just kept going. I've just been making videos ever since.
Wait, watch him come back a year later and be like, "So, any royalties?"
See, to be fair though, Rab was like a quite decent sized channel, like for what he'd done. I think he was like 1,500 subscribers, which were in the Gears of War community, which is where I started, was reasonably good. I don't know why he gave up, to be honest. Probably just get tired of the shit. But I speak to him now and again. He's not very rarely online though. He got married, got a life, and then kind of gave up gaming. One of those folk.
Oh, the killer.
Whereas I just got married and gamed more.
Which is the way to do it.
Good excuse to hide in a different part of the room. Have you take these bins out? Carry and play Gears.
I'm in the middle of something very important that you would not understand right now.
Look, I can't pause the game, I've told you.
It's online. that's the most common excuse, I'll give you that.
Boys.
I've got one. Kind of another sort of common question, I suppose, but
All these comments.
Marley diss track.
Yes.
What drove you to go for it, or was it just Marley?
So the thing is, like, I've kind of been good friends with Marley for a while.
Yeah.
But Marley has always had this kind of, I don't know how to describe it, this kind of good reputation, this kind of safe reputation. He's not like, he gets a little bit of wind-ups now and again, but he's predominantly like kind of looked on as quite a good creator. He's kind of brand friendly, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I thought, fuck it, I'm going to attack him. I mean, to be fair, he was a friend, so I knew he would take it quite well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know that he would take it that bad that he would deny its existence for a year and a half. But
He finally reacted to it, didn't he? On an
he did
upload?
finally react to it. He was actually, from what I gather, I don't know if you saw the video where we done a Q&A, and I can't remember if I included it, but we sat down and spoke about the diss track, and we actually said that he was very close to replying. He was actually going to try and get a rapper involved. The amount of people that were talking about it. But thankfully, he said thankfully it died down in the comment section, and he managed to get away from it. But I did talk about doing a second one. I actually dropped a kind of Twitter version, under the Stan song recently. No, but I mean, I enjoyed doing all that sort of stuff. I don't know, the diss tracks were trending at the time. It was a fun idea, because I like to take an idea and just parody it. I fucking hate things that are like, do you know what I mean? Like people who jump on trends and just do the exact same stuff. If I jump on a trend, it's usually to parody it or try and make it a bit more interesting or have a laugh with it and add my sense of humour to it. So that was purely what the diss track was about, and I had to pick a victim. And since Marley was kind of this poster child who was always looked upon as being a good example, if you like, I thought, let's fucking damage his reputation.
Let's just bring him down.
Me and
A good excuse as any.
Me and Cruiser a couple of months were saying on Twitter, let's go bump his couch, because he's moved into his new joint, hasn't he?
Marley has actually stopped messaging me since he moved into his new house, because I was talking to him for so long before he moved in about a housewarming party, and he knows, and he overheard a discussion that if he had a housewarming party, I would, for a video, steal his silver play button. So, so since he's moved into his house, he's not messaged me.
Yeah, you're not getting an invite to that party.
It's not just that too. Like he got like a new like a really fancy couch, and he got like a really good like carpet and stuff like that. And he knows, like, every time we go out, I spill drink everywhere, and I always drink like fucking usually cider that's got a really fucking strong colour to it. So yeah, I'm not allowed near his house.
You know how like, your gran would have a plastic cover over their seating and all that? Has he got that in his house now?
Well, that's what I'm saying. He won't invite me round.
Scottish gaffs are always like horrendous. Like something always ends up broken. Like there's booze everywhere.
The problem is I've got a bit of a reputation when it comes to that, and Marley knows that because he's been with me a few times. Because when we used to go to gaming events, and when we go to gaming events, we always end up going on nights out or having like parties in the hotel room. I don't know if you ever saw any of the vlogs from 40G.
Yep.
Yeah, you'll know from watching any of those videos that I have a really bad reputation for getting fucking carried away. And I think that gives Marley the fear that if I know where his house is, I might just turn up one night. So, I know where his mum lives, but he refused to tell me where his new house is.
Is it not the one in the Q&A?
Yeah, it's that one, yeah.
Yeah.
Just text him one day, alright Marley, what's happening? I'm round your maws, if you want to jump
Follow him one night.
Just try and make him shit himself and accidentally get where he is. Just go tell him, I'm outside your gaff, come say hello.
The thing is, right, I do actually know where his new house is, but he's not keen on the idea of a house party. So if I'll ever message him about a night out or anything like that, he'll just not reply to me for 2 weeks in the hope that I'll forget about it.
Magic. No, I mean I've been at the arse end of your happy-go-lucky drinking times after the charity match in the pub. That was a gallus drunken night for the lot of us. I remember just all fucking pissed, man.
That was a relatively subdued night for me as well, which is surprising. Yeah, that was a relatively subdued night. I thought because it was a charity event and stuff like that, you know, I better behave myself a little bit.
Best behaviour. Yeah.
Best behaviour, exactly. So I wasn't too bad that night, but I've had some fucking wild nights in the past, like really bad ones.
Somebody kept thieving my pint every time. I was out for a fag, and then I spoke to Dank for about an hour, and I came back, my pint was gone. Bought one, went out for another fag, came back, that pint was gone, and I was like, right, what's going on here? I don't know.
Somebody's at it.
If somebody was at it, or I was just at the point where I'd tanned it and not remembered by the time I'd smoked my cigarette.
I mean, to be fair, Matt, I think after you'd finished it, you came back to mine, you were sitting on my couch telling me about how people kept nicking your pint and you were fucking pissed.
That's probably what's happened, is you probably drank it.
Yeah.
Most likely.
I've been in that situation before.
And then you were like, have you still got your Elgato? Eyes, can we set up? I was like, I don't know, man.
That's probably not a good idea with how much you've drank.
It's not stopped me before. I did a video the other week where every time I died in Doom, I took a tanda full serving of Jack and Coke, and that was a very messy video.
I'll be honest, I think I've managed to stay relatively clear of doing videos whilst drunk. I've done fucking plenty with a hangover, but I've never ever been drunk when I made a video. I hope to keep that.
My most reckless video ideas always come drinking. Like, there'll be days where I have no idea what I can make for content. So I'll come back in from a night out and I'm like, oh mate, I know what I'm going to do. There's actually about 4 videos I've deleted and never uploaded because I've watched them sober after passing out making them and go, that's not going on the internet. What the hell was I thinking?
Sounds like you.
You don't drink and make videos. That's one way to kill your channel overnight.
Kill it. Batchy's been dead for 3 years.
Fair enough.
Don't drink and record.
Videos that done that to
you. Don't drink and record, kids.
Aye, a lesson I'll never learn. Okay, next up, Cammy, have you got the line of questioning?
Aye.
That was pretty.
I'm starting to wake up a bit. That nap was class. So, fucking, out of all your videos, what would you say is your favourite and which one would be your least of your own choice? For any reason?
Do you mean like favourite to watch back or favourite? What was my favourite to make?
Aye, favourite to make, favourite to watch back, either one.
I mean, that's a kind of tough decision. I'd say probably one of the favourites to make is a toss-up between the 2 diss tracks, the Molly one and, of course, the Jamie Oliver diss track. I mean, it's tough to pick between those 2, so I'd probably say one of those 2 was the favourite. I mean, obviously, those are the most time-consuming videos I've ever made. Each video was about 150 hours put into them. I'm not a music producer and I know jack shit about music production, but here I am making music somehow, so that was an interesting challenge. But, I mean, the video, the edit, the idea, it was, I think when you spend that much time making a video and then you see the finished product, you hate the graft all the way throughout, but as soon as you get to the end and you see the finished product, you're like, that was totally worth it. I'm glad I did that, and you enjoy it so much more.
Yeah.
I think if you put no effort into a video and you just batter it out quickly, and even if it's something that you enjoy, you don't really get the satisfaction because you've not put as much time and effort into it. Favourite wise, in fact, you know what? I'm going to say the Molly one was probably my favourite to make because we just had a complete carry on. We had a rough idea what we wanted to do for filming the video, but we just went out with the camera and we're like, here, do you want to go to the Kelpies? Do you want to go here? There's a bit there, let's film in front of that. And we just danced about and had an absolute riot. My biggest disappointment with the Jamie Oliver diss track was a lot of people missed a lot of the Easter eggs. There was a lot of Easter eggs in that video. We spent quite a bit of time coming up with them. I thought about doing like a follow-up video where we explained them and went through them, but I just thought that would be too up yourself to be like, let's have a look at the Easter eggs that we put in our video because we're so cool. I was disappointed that not as many people got them. I've seen a couple people mention things in the comments. Like obviously, there was actually a couple of unintentional ones, believe it or not. In the thumbnail, we crossed out Vivo and put Bebo, like I done for the Marley one. But I didn't realise that Bebo's actually Spanish for I drink, and obviously talking about the Iron Brew stuff from Jamie Oliver, that was an accidental Easter egg.
I learned something now.
But that was a good video to make. The intro as well was the intro for the video was actually 3 shots, and that was filmed by Div, starring Batchy, starring Cruiser, and it was actually like each one was a joke, like to represent the person that was the name. So like the Div shot was filmed by Div was in front of a like big tiger, like just to basically imply that Div was an animal on the camera. The one with Cruiser was the panning past the house because the idea was that he's built like a brick shit house. And the one with me's panning past fagged outs because I've got a fucking sense of humour of self-deprecating, so just thought it would be funny as fuck.
Fair enough.
But if you watch that back, you'll realise that's actually what's there. It was a subtle thing, but I just liked the idea of doing it.
Yeah.
I think my favourite was the behind the scenes with your makeshift booth with the blue Yeti and the basket and the blankets. That was fucking genius, I think, to be honest, as much as it
That was the exact same way that I made the Marley 13 diss track as well, believe it or not.
And it
used the same
quite
basket.
well.
Yeah, it worked. That was the main thing. It was all about the kind of getting the sound done right.
Yeah.
See when you were making the lyrics to it, did Cruiser have any input in these as well? Yeah.
Oh, Cruiser had a couple of lyrics that was there, like the Thomas the Tank Jammies line in the Jamie Oliver diss track was Cruiser. I think that was about it, to be honest. No, Cruiser did help write a couple of the lyrics. The problem with Cruiser though is that he has I described it to us. I've got ADHD. His is a lot worse than mine. So whenever we sat down to write, we would be like, right, what do we want to talk about? Like, let's research Jamie Oliver, and we'd sit there and go down this rabbit hole, and then it would get to the end of us sitting there for 5 hours and we'd come up with nothing other than like this list of potential ideas we could take the piss out of. So he would go away, and then I'd sit there and kind of form it into lyrics, then they'd come back and agree on it. So he was involved in like the research process and coming up with ideas, but he did also contribute a few lyrics. But I think a lot of the kind of jokey stuff a lot of it was kind of coming up with me, I believe. Not taking it away from Cruiser, of course, because Cruiser was involved in all that, but yeah, I did most of the writing.
I'll ask you something before I get these. We'll have a couple more questions. We'll jump into the surprise round that you're really afraid of. So, have you got anything you're willing to share and tease about? I seen you in a video of you hanging off of something in a gym. Not if you can't reveal anything, that's cool. But can you sort of give us an idea of what you've got up and coming in the next month?
I attend a gym. That's really about all I could say on that one.
No, fair play.
Yeah, as you saw from the video, obviously Div's involved. I don't know if you probably know Sharp Div if you saw the video. Myself and Div, I approached Div with an idea for a video, and I know that he's kind of guy. So I approached him with an idea for a video. It's something totally different from anything I've ever done before on the channel. I'm not sure how it will go down. I don't know if it will go well. It was just a complete just taking an idea that I've seen before on YouTube and changing it into something different, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's an interesting concept, that's all I'll say. I don't want to give too much away.
No, that's cool. That's cool. Whatever it is, I look forward to it, and I'll always have that notifications on, whoever you boys
good.
well.
The notification.
Smash that bell button.
Yes.
Smash that bell button.
So before the surprise round, have you guys got anything to talk about with Batchy?
Yeah, I was just gonna ask, was there a video of yours that like kind of got you noticed more, or was it like a really slow and steady kind of growth?
It's weird how the channel grew for me. It was, so when I first started, I was doing videos and I used to get like 50 views a video when I started, and I was quite happy with that. What I did was I joined like the Gears of War community, and I kind of formed this group of people that we all kind of got along, watched each other's videos, stuff like that. And then I moved on to a different style of content, and I noticed a sudden jump from every video being about 50 to every video being about 150 views. Then I transitioned into the Scottish content, and I noticed like a jump from like 150 to 500 views per video, and then it kind of jumped again to 1,500, then like 3,000 or 4,000, and then it suddenly jumped to 10,000 a video, and now we're jumped up to 20,000 a video. It wasn't like any particular video as such. I just feel like it was I don't actually know what it was. I feel like I maybe took a period of like maybe a month of not uploading, and it grown this kind of backlog of new subscribers who hadn't seen any new content because the channel was still growing in the process. So when I did finally upload another video, there was like much more people ready to watch it as soon as it went live, and it kind of set this like bar for like the new kind of. I always kind of gauge my videos how well they're going to do by how many views they get before midnight on the night it drops. Okay. And like recently, I've been getting like over the 10k mark, which beforehand I'd have probably aimed for like 6 or 7. And it's almost weird how it's jumped. I think it might have been due to breaks, but it's hard to tell. The first proper video that actually kind of took off, I'd say, if you like, on my channel was Grand Theft Auto 6 Scotland video. I don't know if anyone saw that one.
I've seen that one, yeah.
That was Yep, that was an interesting parody. Well, what I did was I just took the Scottish stereotypes and I pretended Grand Theft Auto was releasing a game in Scotland and just played on like it's going to be pissing with rain and the streets will be littered with buckfast bottles and junkie needles and stuff like that. Just really kind of playing on the stereotypes, and that was, I suppose, that was where the kind of Scottish stuff started on the channel, and just kind of went from there.
Yeah, I think everyone loves a Scottish stereotype.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, but your Growing Up Scottish series is like so relatable. It's like insane. Like when I was watching the high school one, and I was like, did he, like, I think you live in Falkirk or whatever. I'm in Glasgow, and I was like, did he go to my school? Like, it's exactly the same. It's uncanny.
I mean, I don't want to give away too many trade secrets, but the Growing Up Scottish series was an idea. I don't know if you actually remember it. It was a Twitter hashtag initially. It started out as a Twitter hashtag where people would talk about like things that were kind of what they'd done growing up, and it was a relatable idea. The Twitter hashtag was just kind of becoming quite popular at that time, so I was like, I wonder how this would work in video form almost. So what I did was I started to look back through things that I'd done in my childhood and tried to think, right, I wonder how many other people have done this stuff. So what I did was I just kind of scripted it into jokes, pieced it all together and dropped it in a video, and it just took off somehow.
Yeah. It's super relatable.
The series is now like the backbone of the channel, but the problem is I don't want to overdo Growing Up Scottish because it takes me a long time to write, and I feel like it would be, I think it would ruin it if it was done too frequently and there wasn't as much effort put into it. It would just wouldn't be the same.
No, I agree.
But yeah, it's one of those weird things though. Everybody in Scotland does have these stories that you can find that almost everybody relates to.
Yeah. It was insane. I was like, he must have went to my school.
The one that was really relatable for me was the primary school one. Whenever you'd like, I think it was along the lines of, even if you'd broken your arm, wet paper towel sorts you out.
Oh my god, yeah.
I remember being that when I just about broke my nose one day, and I was just like, there's blood everywhere, what's this going to do?
It's funny because genuinely that was what it was like for me in high school, and I think you obviously you were able to relate, so you'll say it was the same.
It was.
It's nuts. Like the one thing that I don't know how relatable this one is, but this was something that I found was completely incredible. It was the transition from me from primary school to high school was when you went from using pencils to suddenly being allowed to use pens. And I always found that funny thinking back on it. I'm like, there was no like pens were considered this like, oh, you cannot use pens, you're a bad person to use pens, almost. It was like this criminal offence in primary school, to suddenly going into high school and being like, you're now let loose free with the pens. You felt like you were doing something wrong. That was always one of the weirdest things for me, but I think I actually spoke about it in that same video, the one about the wet paper towels with the nurse. It's nuts though.
There was always that one kid in primary I found that had those the double-sided rubber. One side was red and blue, and he'd always sit and claim, "Oh, this side rubs out pen," and then you'd go and do it, and you'd just fuck your paper up, man.
That fucking... Do you want to laugh? That was me, because my mum and dad convinced me that's what the rubber done.
Why am I not surprised?
Parents are probably one of the worst when it comes to that sort of stuff. They fuel the lies. I'm just as bad now that I've got a son. I fuel the lies as well, purely for my own amusement.
Okay, well, let's do this fun round. Are you ready? So everyone knows that you are a huge fan of Still Game, right? You probably watch it more than anything else, I'm assuming, right?
Oh, it's up there, yep.
So I've got a little sort of Still Game mini quiz to challenge your knowledge. It's going to be.
Here we go.
So there's questions and there's a few quotes. Now with the quotes, I want you to name what character said it, and the questions obviously give me the answer. So are you ready for this, Ian?
Ready as will ever be, I suppose. I wish you'd given me some warning. I could have watched it back last night and refreshed my memory.
No, where's the fun in that?
You can't bring your notepads out of the exam.
Okay. Let me load up Google. Right, let's go.
So
Sir, will this be on the final exam?
So I've got 10. 6 are quotes, 4 are questions, and I'll give you the score out of 10 at the end. Okay. So
What's an acceptable pass rate for this? Just kind of how difficult are we going with these questions?
this is you, mate. If you
The-
don't
the
get
same as
10,
high school exams.
Come on. Let me get all SQA up in here. Oh, you got all them right. You fail. Nah, I'm kidding. Okay, I'll start us off then. So, what was the name of the robot dog that Victor won
Matt.
from the pub raffle?
Matt the Doug.
There we go. Correct. Oh, every time I hear Matt
Oh,
the dog,
good
I'm
start.
like, I ain't a dog. Fuck's sake.
I was about to make the joke. It's just like, but what's the dog's name?
I just got it there.
Okay. What was the name of the episode where Tam discovers a porn tape starring Bobby the Barman as Troy the Gardener?
Oh fuck!
That was a good episode.
I know the episode. Fuck, that's the one where Shug's working the night shift on
Yep.
security. Oh, I don't know if I can remember the episode name though. Shit. Nah, I don't know. What is it?
Okay, it was Fresh Lick.
Ah, fuck. I don't know if I would have got that, to be fair.
Okay, I'll go on with the quote. So this is a quote. I want you to name who said it. Consider this. You're warm now, but how's it going to be in a wee stony jail cell with nothing to heat you up?
Victor, when he's talking to Jack when he was getting the heating installed
Yeah.
by Winston.
Yeah, it would have been but a red hot blow you right up your arse. Yes, that was
I remember that one.
good one, right? Okay, next one is another quote. Absolutely none of your business. What a thing to ask. I'd never discuss anything like that. Any condoms, Navid?
Willie.
Aye, nice one.
He goes in asking for if he wants Whitflay ribbed or flavoured. That was
Yeah.
the question asked.
Oh, tough the lot of yous and weighted boots. Okay,
Fucking Willie.
we'll go back to the questioning. How old was Tam Mullen when his son was born?
Ah, shit. I think it was in the 70s, maybe 72. For some reason, either 70 or 72 rings a bell. I can't remember.
I'll give you, it was 70. So,
70. I knew it was either 70 or 72, I just couldn't remember which one.
You were in the ball.
Because he went on Lorraine Kelly and got his
Yeah.
deals with the baby products.
So, next quote. Excuse me. Aye, you, Algin. What you doing with that bush? Are you George Bush?
That's the two wee Neds talking to Winston standing at the bus stop.
Correct.
Ask him if he's Kate Bush, man. Ask him.
Oh, shut up!
That episode was fucking brilliant.
Gilton, that was called.
That was the one with the dog off the roof. That's actually fun. That was the first Still Game episode I ever watched because my granddad got the DVD. I think it was in The Sun with that episode on it. Stuck it in. I caught him watching it. I'm pissing myself laughing as I went seeing that, man. That was great. Okay. Another quote. Who do you think you're talking to, eh? You ginger bitch.
Wait, what? Your mic went a wee bit robotic at the end.
Sorry. It's who do you think you're talking to, eh? You ginger bitch.
Oh, fuck's sake. I'm trying to remember the context for this. Oh, shit.
I'll give you a hint. It was towards Anne Robinson in The Weakest Link.
Oh, shit. Who was on The Weakest Link again? Was it no Tam?
No, it's they were
Fuck.
talking of The Weakest Link. No one
Oh,
was.
right. Oh, shit. Was it maybe Naveed?
Yes, it was Naveed. Next one.
I'm trying to remember if he had it on the telly, didn't he? That's
Yep.
what it was. He had it on his wee telly in the shop. I remember that. Yeah.
He started ranting about it. Man, that was too good.
You can just hear it in his voice, can't you? Like Naveed's voice.
Exactly, aye.
Okay, so we've got the last question, and then we've got another quote. So, how many fags a day did Winston Ingram used to smoke?
Oh, he told the wee Ned when he was doing the no smoking, wasn't it?
Aye, when he'd lost his leg and he was getting a new
Did
unit.
you smoke your leg off? How did you smoke your leg off?
Oh, yeah, once you don't smoke your other leg off, aye.
It was either it was 40 a day or 20 a day, I think.
No.
Is it not? Alright, okay. That was a really.
It was 80 a day.
80, I think.
when he was explaining to the doctor and they asked him how many fags he used to smoke, he did go, 20, 40, try 80.
I can't remember that part, actually, I'll be honest with you.
Okay, so we've got, two more of the quotes. This one will be an obvious one. It's, "Nay snowballs, you stupid old cow."
Martin and his mom when he's standing at the bus stop.
Maybe you could get a jobby, Martin. You're not like your arse when you Martin.
And Naveen Ned comes out and spits in his coat beforehand.
Aye.
I remember that one well.
So, last quote, and I'll give you a total. Oh, fuck, right, I've got to get into pure character for this one, don't I? Aye,
This will be good.
that's right, Buzz Aldrin, but I'm not giving you it, because you're out of time. No points, prick.
Prick. Aye, the quizmaster. With Bobby's quiz. Aye. What's his name again? Fuck, was it Mike or something like
Oh, fuck, they gave him a name in, because he was in series, was it 7 when Bobby retired for the pub as well?
that? Aye.
Oh,
I can't remember the guy's name, I just know he was the
Aye.
quizmaster.
That's
all
what
I
I've
know him
got
as.
written down as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So you got 8 out of 10, Batchy.
Hey.
Respectable.
Yes, no, it's good. That's a pass. Your still game knowledge is on point, my man. Don't worry.
I haven't watched it for a good couple of months as well, so I'm proud of that.
You'll get your grade in the next 2 weeks.
I'd like to dedicate that one to my mum.
I'll send you your certificate in the mail.
Thanks. I'll make sure to add it to my CV.
What's your references? Still game quiz and the 5 GTS podcast. You seen it?
8 out of 10. Proud of that.
Too good, man. So, you've got sort of got a gang, I'd say in a way, of Scottish YouTubers. I'd love to say a gang. Let's just say football team, considering the charity match. We know you collaborate with Cruiser quite a bit, but apart from Cruiser, who are the two most? Who are the two YouTubers you collaborate most with out of that?
That I do collaborate with most, or I would like to.
Or well, actually, after who do you most, and who would you like to collaborate more with, even?
I mean, I like. Do I get to include Gary in this list? Big Gary.
Oh, of course, Gary's got a YouTube channel. I'm going to link it. He's good stuff, wholesome content he's got when he's laughing and he's reviewing things. It's good. But I
love Big Gary. He's always been a good laugh. I'd put Gary on that list, definitely. And who else do I collaborate with, or would I like to collaborate with?
Yeah.
It's funny. I spend a lot of time and I play a lot of games with Big Mooney. We don't do an awful lot of content together. We did a live stream together for DigiEye, and we did the kind of prank texting when we texted a few of the YouTubers for a bit of a laugh.
Got that fish tank.
You got that fish tank. I still get people asking me about that fish tank, right? Oh Jesus! I don't know what I started with that fucking. No, I really like Big Mooney. We get along really, really well. We play games together. We're in the process of writing a short film as well, actually.
Oh, cool.
Cool.
Yes, which should be interesting. That's a kind of bigger project, though. I don't know if it'll be something that we do for YouTube or out with YouTube, because I don't know if I'm going to be in it. But yeah, I love spending time with Big Moon and playing games with him. If I could, I'd collaborate more with him, but we do different content, so it's just kind of good friends, I suppose.
Yeah.
If we ever come up with some ideas, though, I definitely would get him on to do more stuff.
Cool.
Are there any like non-Scottish content creators that would be like your dream collaborators?
Dream collaborators wise, like, so I did a collaboration with Cam Kirkham. Don't know if you know him. He's a YouTuber, kind of part of like the EXO group. Don't know if you maybe don't know EXO, like if you know Willie Nee and stuff like that.
I've heard of it. Yeah.
Hold on.
Cam, I did a collaboration with Cam Kirkham maybe at the start of last year. I quite enjoyed working with Cam. I like his. He's got an interesting approach to his videos. they're really entertaining, and I really liked his content, so I was happy to do content with him. But if I had a dream collab with somebody that I'd love to work with, it would be Stephen Tries. I don't know if you've watched any of his videos, but Stephen Tries,
He sounds familiar.
Yeah,
Stephen Tries does a lot of work with a large amount of people. He did like a comedy sketch with KSI and things like that. When he was training for his boxing match with Joe Weller, I believe Stephen Tries did a sketch with him about training. It was really funny. Stephen's got like this really this great sense of humour that I love. It's just right up my alley, that sense of humour. So if I could ever collaborate with anybody, I'd say he'd be the dream one to collab with. Purely just for the content. I just love his videos.
I know him through, because I watch the True Geordie podcast sometimes, and I think he's been on that a couple of times as well. And he's, even when it's just casually talking about something, his humour's on point. He just
Stephen is very sharp. He's a very sharp, very quick person, quick-witted. I just love his sense of humour. I think it's so good, and I think he's probably one of the most underrated and probably one of the best creators on the platform at the minute. That's maybe going a bit far, but
in case you're listening,
in case you're listening, I don't want to give him an ego or that. Do you know what I mean? But I genuinely think that Stephen Tries is probably one of the better creators on the platform.
Cool.
It's the thought that goes into his videos and the effort that he puts into it, and just his sense of humour. It's just top class.
When it comes down to humour, you talk to a lot. You reply to a lot of fans on Twitter, which is...
I don't like that word, fans. I know.
Okay.
Yeah, I've always... It's not... I mean, I see people using the word to describe like their own kind of viewer base and stuff like that, but I feel like the word fan dehumanises it, and at the end of the day it is just people watching your videos, and I think when you use the word fan, it's when you start to forget that it is people watching your content.
No, you're right enough there. That's food for thought there. So I never
just give me something to think about.
I never refer to anyone that views my video as fans, but it's just when I think of yourself and other people, you've got such a huge subscriber and follower base everywhere. So that the automatic thing to say is fans, but you're right enough there. Well,
I tend to prefer to use the word viewer, and I realise that is still quite dehumanising, but I think at the end of the day it is a better description, because I wouldn't describe people who watch my content as fans as such. I mean, maybe they feel that that's what they are, but I still like to think of people as individuals. Like, if anybody ever stops me in a street and like wants to talk to me about my YouTube content, I'll happily sit and talk to them for ages about it. You've met me at, I think, probably at the charity match and stuff like that. You'll know what I'm like to talk to. I sit and talk to anybody. At the end of the day, you're nothing without the people who watch your videos, so I think it's important to try and remember who they are and not kind of, consider them as... I mean, fans maybe isn't a bad word, but just in my mind, it's always been something that you would use to kind of describe somebody who's... It dehumanises them, and it makes them feel like somebody who's loyally, follows you as such. And I don't think... maybe that is the case, but I prefer to think of people as just the individuals that watch it.
That's wholesome as fuck, dude. Awesome.
Yeah, I think like a better word I think is like supporters or just subscribers. Like,
subscribers, kind of viewers. I tend to go with the word viewers. Again, it is still kind of dehumanising to a point, but it is people who are viewing the content, so that's that's how I go for viewers more often than not.
Well, that in mind, I'll rephrase my question without that word then. Oh, Matt, you've had a telling off, right? let me just get my rubber.
No, it's fair enough, like, because I understand that a lot of people do kind of do that, and that's fair enough. I don't fault anybody for it.
It's an easy word to use,
Yeah, it's an easy word to use, and I prefer to try and distance myself from that word, because I think it's easy to look at numbers and then forget what that number is. Especially kind of when you've, for me especially, it's been I wouldn't say a slow growth as such, but it hasn't been like overnight woke up 70,000 subs. It's been 6 years in the making. So when you see it kind of grow up slowly, and you look back on it and you think, 1,000 subscribers, you think, that's nothing sub-wise, but when you think about it, 1,000 is still a lot of people. And I think it's just a way to kind of stay grounded, I suppose, in what you have achieved and not like get too far ahead of yourself.
So you keep in touch with a lot of viewers on Twitter quite regularly, which is something to aspire to. A lot of big YouTubers and that sort of they have their social media to show off their content, but they don't. A lot I see don't engage with the people viewing them. You're always on the ball with you're bantering between everyone, and it's great to see. The funniest banter I see on Twitter is whenever you reply to one of Dankula's tweets, and the banter that come out between you two fucking cracks me up. That time he posted up a photo, and you're just like, why are you uploading a selfie of me? And his reply was, any mate of yours shite and I'll upload your nudes. And I was sitting there.
No, Daniel's a really, really sound guy. I know he's got a lot of like political stuff behind it, and I realise a lot of people don't want to get involved with him because of that. But I mean, I try and avoid politics when it comes to what I do, so I just look at the person behind it rather than the politics that's involved. And I genuinely believe Dankula is a really sound guy. We've been out, we were out on a Christmas night out and stuff like that just recently, and he was genuinely just so down to earth when I spoke to him. So,
I mean, I spoke to him. I met him at your charity match, and we didn't talk anything YouTube. We just sat and talked about what games we were looking forward to from E3. And what people seem to mistake is, regardless of all the controversy around him, he's just another dude trying to get along, you know. And he's such a nice guy to talk to as well.
I think that's the biggest thing that people forget about YouTube creators. People just see subscriber counts and then they don't think that it's just a normal person.
Yeah.
I think people look at you as being like less than, like more than human almost because you do YouTube, and there's people watch your videos like you're amazing, like you're something to aspire to. But at the end of the day, like we're all just pricks as well. Do you know what I mean?
Speak for yourself. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, yeah, I'll openly admit I can be a massive prick. Like. You won't hear me denying that.
These guys have known me for years, and I'm sure they will scream to the high heavens of how much of a dick I am. So,
I can't deny that, man. I cannot deny that.
I don't think you're a dick.
Or he's a cunt.
You've got some supporters there at least. the one supporter there.
There's a sliver of hope for me yet. Thank goodness.
So rename the podcast to Five Guys Supporting Each Other.
Love that.
5 guys spreading love.
Cut that
I was talking so much shite, and it would just they would be expecting something completely different.
No man, they'd click it and they'd just hear us tearing Reese apart, and everyone would be like, "Oh, they're just bullies, I guess."
Bullying with love.
Yes.
Comes from a good place.
At least that's what I tell myself to, not cry myself to sleep at night.
Fucking hell, man! I feel like shite now hearing that. You have to tone that stuff back now. Nah, fuck off.
No, I just gave you a fucking excuse to make it worse.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
My brain went shit there. Like when I came off YouTube a while back and came back, and I've amassed 652, which to me is an achievement of subscribers. I think Reese wanted to ask you some advice because he does streaming on Twitch and he wants to get into content creation. So I think he's got a couple of things to fire towards you.
Sure. Fire away.
It's just a all round standard of got any advice on how to start up, because I've been recently from Matt and stuff like that. Been told just to go, if I'm starting off with me just ripping my videos from Twitch, use Microsoft Studio to try and do that. You got any sort of advice towards sort of the editing to sort of like add to each video to make it just that little bit better for YouTube instead of just the Twitch streaming?
So what is it that you want to kind of post on YouTube? Is it more gaming related stuff? Is it stuff literally your Twitch live streams, or like what's your kind of go?
Right now all my Twitch stuff is just literally just me gaming. So it's pretty much just going to be starting off that, and once I'm a bit more used to it, I'm going to spread out to maybe just videos like as does, like vlogs and things like that. Mm-hmm. Possibly taking a camera out at times to some chat and shite with them there.
I mean, when it comes to YouTube, the only real path to success, and there's only 2 bits of advice that you'll ever need. you'll hear everybody say it, I can guarantee it, and everybody has these two same pieces of advice, but you'll notice there's a large percentage of people not getting anywhere, and the reason is they're not listening to these two pieces of advice. Be unique and be consistent. Those are the two most important things you can ever get taught. You will never get anywhere if you're copying or doing the same as someone else, because those people are already doing what it is that, do you know what I mean? People already have that one source for it. So if you want to do videos like Logan Paul, there's no point, because people already go to Logan Paul for that. Like, why would they come to you for that, if you know what I mean? So what you want to do is try and find something that's unique or niche, or something that's different from what's already on the platform. Whether it's taking an existing idea and adding your own spin to it, then that's fine. But just something that's not the same as everybody else, and also being consistent. This is the biggest downfall for YouTube channels, and I find it as well. If I don't post for a couple of weeks, I start to kind of go on a bit of a decline. You have to consistently keep posting, and that's the hardest part about YouTube, and it's the hardest part about getting anywhere. If you want to get anywhere, you need to post consistently for a long period of time, and it is a grind, and that's why a lot of people stop. But those are the two most important bits of advice when it comes to YouTube. And I mean, it sounds like it's the most overused piece of shit when it comes to telling people, but that is genuinely it. That's the formula, and nobody listens to it. Everybody either gives up or thinks that they've got a different way. But genuinely, being unique and consistently uploading unique content will get you somewhere.
Would you say it's like any other job? You need to find that sort of balance between work life and your own life at the same time as well? Would you think that?
I didn't have a life when I wanted to do YouTube. The reason I decided about 2 years ago that I wanted to take YouTube serious. I'd been doing it for 4 years beforehand. It's just like the odd thing. Like, I'd post a video maybe 2 in one day, and then I'd not post for like 3 months, and then post another video, and it was just unedited, unthought out, just random nonsense. Something would happen in a game, I'd record a clip and post it, and I was like, oh, that's content, do you know what I mean? But about maybe 2.5 years ago, I decided I was going to take it serious, because somebody said to me at the time, they were like, what's your plans for YouTube? And I was like, I don't know, it's just a hobby. If I ever make anything off it, I'm making it off it. And the best piece of advice I got was a guy called the Razor Edge, from the Gears of War community.
I know him, I love his content.
Pete, yeah, his name's Pete. Pete turned around and said that to me. It was like, you don't need to be ashamed of admitting that you want to make something off YouTube. If you want to turn it into a job, that's fine. You can own that idea. Too many people put this kind of, you can't, like, people believe that they can't do it as a job because it's so unaccepted, and like, do you know what I mean? Like, this idea of dreaming to do YouTube as a job, dreaming to be an entertainer, is looked on as this chase of fame, so to speak. But in essence, it's a business, and if you want to make a business a success, you've got to want to make it a success, so to speak. So that's the weird thing about YouTube, is it doesn't work like a traditional business because people see it as fame. But it really is. You see, when you start thinking about it that way, when you start marketing it and putting effort in and thinking about, like, how can I grow this? Like, how do I be different from everybody else? How do I stand out? How do I post content to catch people's attention? So when you think of it that way, like, anybody could do YouTube as a job, really. It's just thinking about it with the right mindset and taking the right approach.
I just try to find a way to viewers in, because I know to some level it is a big part of it is can be down to luck for a lot of channels.
There is. I'll give you the genuine truth. There is something called fast fame, which is when luck takes a major effect and the channel takes off and you blow up, and that's great. That's fine, but for 90% of the people out there, that's not how it starts. It is a grind from the start to finish. You'll find all the people that grind it will last longer than those who have the fast fame, because those who have ground it out know what it takes to get there. So once they get there, they're more appreciative of it and they will work harder to maintain it. Whereas the fast fame, not put in as much effort, do you know what I mean? Make a quick couple of bucks and usually jump off to go and do something else, and it's just the money for them.
Yeah.
But for anybody,
I just started.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. I just started like 2 months ago. Just started vlogging and stuff. And for me right now, it's just a hobby. Like, I love doing it. Like, and it's not a chore for me at all. Like, I literally just vlog and upload and edit, and I love it.
That was how I started out. Like I was saying, about 2 years ago was when I decided I wanted to take it serious, and this isn't an exaggeration. Yeah. I was so committed to the idea of wanting to do it. I used to work 40 hours a week in a job, and I would do overtime as well to make extra money to buy more equipment for doing YouTube. And then I would work from 10 till 6, and then I'd come home and make videos till about, or work on videos or research videos or whatever it was I was doing for a video until about 2-3 in the morning, sleep for a couple of hours and then go back to work. It got to the stage where I got that pale in the face and my eyes started to sink into my head with bags
Yeah.
because I'd done that for 2 years, working on the minimum amount of sleep I possibly could, because I was so determined that I was like, I want to do something with this. Like, I want to entertain people. I enjoy making videos. Like, this is what I want to do. So I just dedicated myself to the idea. And maybe I didn't. I guarantee I probably made a few mistakes along the way. Maybe that's why it took me longer. But from taking it seriously in my mind to the stage that I'm at just now was about 2.5 years, and that was just constant hard work.
Yeah, it is hard work. Like, it takes up a lot of your time. But I love it. Like, so I don't mind that it does that.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, I wouldn't have done it for 2 years if I didn't enjoy it.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, working on minimum sleep, like, I was almost sacked, like, multiple times for sleeping in for work and stuff like that, because I was up to, like, 4:30 in the morning coming up with a video idea. I used to walk around my work with a notepad where I'd write down video ideas or jokes that came in my head, and I'd take them home at night and try and piece it together into some sort of a video.
Slim Shady of YouTube.
That's so funny because I have my own notebook that I take to work with me, and I write down like YouTube ideas that come to my head and stuff. So
it's weird though, because a lot of people just see the finished product on YouTube and they don't realise what actually goes into it. But my average
they don't realise the process. Yeah. My
average video will probably take me 5 days to do, and I know you'll look at it and you'll think that's only a 5-minute video. Why is it taking you so long? I mean, if I've already got the idea in place, the amount of research I'll put in to make sure that everything I do is factually correct or as close to factually correct as possible. I mean, I have been caught out a couple of times. There was a video where I done worst places in Scotland, and I was editing the video last minute and I was rushed through, and I needed a picture for Inverness, so I just googled it and grabbed the first picture that came up, and it turned out it was Aviemore, and everyone slated me in the comments for it. But I mean, I knew that was a risk because I'd left it last minute to edit. But when it comes to information, unless I'm deliberately skewing a bit of information for a joke, I tend to try and keep everything as factually correct as possible, and that's the hard part to kind of. Like, when I'd done the video on Scottish laws, that took me ages, because I genuinely went through all the legal documents, like the Scottish Government, like looking through legal amendments and facts, and like, right, does this apply to Scotland? How does this affect us? And then trying to research the laws in the first place. So that took me fucking forever. The people don't see the effort that goes in to get that, they just see the end content and they're like, well, that was funny, that was interesting, and they move on, kind of thing.
Yeah.
I've got a comment in the stream right now from a David Russell. He says, Batchy is so class, love him, and he deserves the 100k, and I agree with him.
Maybe one day we'll see. I just like, I mean, I joke about it all the time. I do joke about the 100k with my son and stuff like that, but my main priority is not really 100k as such. It's about keeping consistent content. I think my mind's always been on the content, the sub count and stuff. Anything I really say about sub count's purely just jokes. I'm not that like way inclined where I'm like, right, I want to get this. This needs to happen, kind of thing. And I think that's the best way to do it, because I think if you get too bogged down with figures, like, it genuinely would get to your health mentally. Like, if you're constantly comparing yourself to other creators and like judging your progress and like, oh, I'm not growing fast enough, or this isn't happening fast enough as I like it, then you're gonna have issues there, I think.
Yeah, I'm on a lot of YouTube groups on Facebook, and there's so many people that post there going, oh, like, if I don't get this many, I'm going to quit, because what's the point? And I'm like, then why are you doing it? Like, you have to love it to be able to do it. This is
I tell you this as from the perspective of somebody who is doing this as a job full time, right, in Scotland, which is not a very common thing. This is not something you do for the money. Trust me, this is one of the worst paying jobs I've ever had in my life. But I wouldn't change it for anything else. Because it's the most enjoyable, most fun, most freeing experience you can ever have.
Yeah.
I totally agree.
It's I agree. Seeing the podcast side of things since this has started, the podcast doesn't hit off views, and I don't care about that, because we sit and have a good time. And then last week, I got to do an interview with a game designer from Sony who worked on one of my favourite game series ever. And it's going well hit-wise with the fans of the series, but that doesn't matter to me, because doing that interview is so fucking enjoyable. I ended that call and jumped about my room and went, holy shit, I got to do that. That was so fucking cool, you know? And that's what makes this sort of thing for me enjoyable, is the fun I'm having with my friends and talking to people like yourself and Daniel Cavico from last week. It's just so great. It's an experience.
I think it is definitely an experience. I agree with that. But if you do want to take it seriously, you do kind of have to approach it with a business mind. So while I don't really focus on like sub counts and stuff like that, I'm always wary of my monthly view counts because I know that directly affects my revenue.
Yeah.
So I do have to be wary of stuff like that. So sometimes I can be like, I definitely need to post a video this week, and it's maybe not like the best well thought out idea because I know I need to post content in order to pay rent that month, basically.
Yeah.
So that is one issue. However, I don't think there's an issue with wanting to get more views on a video that you've spent ages working on, and for me personally, it's not coming from like the money perspective. You're not like, oh, I want to get 100,000 views because I'll earn this much money. It's purely because, like, I mean, I love entertaining people. Like that's why, like, if you see me on the street and walk past me, I'll stand and talk to you and I'll tell jokes and I'll have a laugh because I don't know, laughter's contagious, and see when you're having a laugh with other people, it makes it life so much better. I think I've always enjoyed having a laugh about everything. So I think when more people see the content, you know you've had a bigger impact on more people's like kind of day, so to speak. That maybe sounds a bit cringy, but I don't know. I just always think that. So like, if a video does better, I'm really happy because it's reached more people. You've just got to be careful not to put too much on yourself for that and start expecting that because it can, get to you a little bit.
I can bring you down if it's not being as good as you've managed to hype yourself up for.
Pretty much, yeah. I think though, like, if you are going to do content for YouTube and stuff like that, because of the competition these days, I think you have to work harder than the next person in order to actually get someplace, because you need to stand out a little bit more. And that was my mentality when I went into it 2 years ago. And it was always just purely like, I used to put so much time in just to try and make the best stuff I could. I mean, granted, if you look back on some of my content back then, it looks shit, and I'll agree probably some of it is. But the thing is, when you're growing on YouTube and as YouTube grows as well, like the content changes and you look back and think, that was a bit shit. But you're not improving as a YouTuber if you're not getting better and looking back. If you can look back on videos you've done 2 or 3 years ago and go, that's still a great video, you're not really progressing, if that makes sense. You're not pushing to get better, I suppose. Because you can always get better. It doesn't matter how good you are, you can always get better. There's always mistakes you'll make and there's always things you can learn from.
So it's always a good thing to be able to look back at it. Right, I've done that wrong. That was kind of bad. What could I have done to make it better? And that's what I can apply to like my next video and so on and so forth.
I'm very a big fan, so to speak, of going back and watching my old content so that I can review on mistakes that I made, because I think it's important to remember as you go forward and make more content. Like, this was a mistake that I made, like, make sure I don't do this one again. Or if I'm doing a grown-up Scottish video, I'll watch back through all the old grown-up Scottish videos again, just to kind of put myself in the mindset of what I was like when I was making them. And then I'm thinking, right, could I improve on anything that I did in this video? Like, I liked how I done a joke or a punchline in that one. Is there any way I can do something similar in this one just to keep consistency in the series and stuff like that? So, but then I'll also look for mistakes that I made where I'm like, I could have tightened up that joke a bit better. Like, is there any way I can improve on it for the next video, so to speak? And I think that's always it, though. You've got to be able to be self-critical.
Totally.
Batchy, I've got a question in the chat. It's actually from a good friend of ours, Cameron from Stenny.
Old Cammy.
He's asking, and he's asked me this so many times as well as a joke, was Cruiser's goal a shot or a cross?
If you want, I mean, there are two answers here. There's the genuine truth, and then there's the answer that we give. Truthfully, and I don't want to give it to him, but truthfully, it was a shot. And the reason I know that is because he did the exact same thing in a training match that we played the week beforehand.
Yeah.
And during that game, he took the shot and it was saved. It was a cracker of a shot, but it was just touched wide. And during that game, I spoke to him right after. I was like, Jesus Christ, mate, why did you go for that? He was like, see, if I only touched the ball once in the game, I want it to have some sort of impact. So when he took that shot, I knew that he was in the mindset that he was in when he was playing that game, that he just wanted to try and get the shot. But I'll always tell him it was a cross. He'll probably clip this clip and have me saying it was a shot, but I'll always tell him it was
let me DM the boy just now. Batchy's giving in.
No, I think Cruiser knows. He knows deep down that we all know it's a shot, but we just wind him up by telling him it's a cross, because we know he gets agitated by it.
Alright. No, because he was, when I'm at the after party of the match, he was like, you filmed that, show me it, and then he got me to tweet him it, and he was showing everyone's like, "That's a fucking shot, isn't it? That's a shot." It looked for a good straight hour. And I remember, I don't know if it was either you or Gogsy that started winding him up, going, "No, mate, it's a cross." That was a cross. But you just see this. He was so adamant it was a shot, which it was, but he seems so easy to wind up. Not that he is. It was just funny.
I mean, Cruiser's, I don't know, it's really hard to tell with Cruiser. He's got such a jokey personality that you can never tell if he's been serious. So, like, if you wind him up and he gives you a reaction, it's hard to tell if he's been genuine or if he's just trying to continue the wind up. That's the weird thing about Cruiser. the team chat for the YouTube team chat is just fully his patter, where he's literally just acting exactly like that. He's wind ups, you can't tell if he's been serious or not.
Aye.
But no, I genuinely believe it was a shot.
Aye, good stuff. Right, well, hold on. Gee, Cammy, you've been really quiet for the past wee while. Come on, talk up.
I don't like interrupting folk. He's all been talking.
Ask a question now, no pressure.
£2
Someone shut up, touching my back. It's like getting any of those questions.
I've got a knife.
I've got. Let's see here. I did have a couple, but a couple of them have been covered.
What the hell was that?
This is me realising I'm up at 5 tomorrow. You don't usually get to see this with me.
Sounded like someone kicked a Cyberman in the balls. Seriously?
I thought it was his attempt at the dog's version of Phantom of the Opera.
Oh, class.
Aye, on you go, Cammy.
Fucking. With your Creative Scotland thing, have you ever been in a position you've had to, like, fucking remove someone?
From Create Scotland?
Aye.
I tend to leave that down to better men than myself within the server.
Yeah.
I'm more of I founded Create Scotland and stuff like that, but I tend not to manage the server on a day-to-day basis. I leave that down to Tony and Ducky.
Shout out Mad Tony Henderson and Mad Ducky.
They're more skilled when it comes to dealing with the server on a day-to-day basis. I suppose I'm more like a mascot of the server, if that makes sense.
Aye.
I went on there to share like my YouTube channel, but I couldn't because you have to be like level 10 or something.
So what happened was we were getting a lot of people who would just jump in, share their videos, and then leave.
Yeah.
Right.
It caused this issue where, what we wanted was a dialogue for people so that there was some sort of feedback.
Yeah.
So what we did was we put this kind of restriction on where you'd had to kind of commented enough times within there before you could share your videos, and the idea was to encourage people to give feedback for people who were posting their videos, because there was this thing where people were just posting videos and it just became a stream of spam, so to speak.
Right.
So what we did was we put this kind of level cap where, like, you need to message so many times in the chat before you were able to share your videos, in the hope that it would encourage people that if they did post a video that somebody else would give them some feedback or watch the video, you know, and kind of try and create this community, this network of people who would watch each other's videos, give some advice, give some tips, or give opinions and stuff like that on it. So that was why there was a cap on it.
So in
You
short,
can't
stop talking to
message
folk.
in there though. So like if you want to give someone feedback, you can't, because you can't message in there. Like,
You might need to
because in
speak
the
to
banter
Ducky
bit
about that.
and in the general bit, in the banter bit, like they don't talk about videos, they just talk shit.
Yeah, I think we should recommend to Ducky a feedback channel under the content sharing. I think that would work.
There is actually a feedback server, a bit of feedback chat in the server.
Is there? Oh, hold
Is
on.
there?
I'll look.
Server feedback, spelt UR.
Yes, so there is, actually. My bad.
This actually answered my other question I was going to ask about how you actually get involved with this Creative Scotland thing. So,
Create Scotland's like open for anyone, really. The idea behind it was to get as many Scottish people who have an interest in creating content into one space, because the idea of meeting other people and networking and finding out people who have different hobbies or different interests and the potential for collaboration and stuff like that. I mean, at the end of the day, we all live in the same country. I mean, even if you're from Edinburgh to Glasgow, it's only an hour on the train away. Do you know what I mean? It's not.
Yeah.
we're not miles and miles apart. You're not talking like fucking 8 hours on a flight to get from one side of the country to the other to work together. So my hope was to kind of get as many people in there together as possible. The idea was to try and get people talking, having an idea, sharing, like just having jokes and stuff like that, making friends, and then hopefully progressing on to go out and kind of make their own content together and doing their own things as such.
I've put in the Discord chat the Twitter for Create Scotland. I'm sure you can join it that way. Also in the description is the same link for the Twitter. Come join in and come socialise, meet some different people, have a good laugh as well. I'd avoid the banter page at 2 in the morning though. Radio 69 kind of takes over and it goes mental.
Yeah, definitely avoid the banter page.
But no,
now I feel baited to check it out.
yeah, I know you would. But it's a great way to connect with other creators, and like I said earlier, it's a genius idea, especially with even when in its early days, Scottish YouTubers in a way they weren't unheard of, but they were sort of unseen. They were a bit shadowed in a way, if you get me.
Sorry, on you go.
On you go.
I mean, like I said, when we started Create Scotland, it was because whenever you kind of view like an English YouTuber or another YouTuber, you take Casey Neistat, you could always think like David Dobrik or stuff's done things with him, Peter McKinnon, and like you can always name a couple of YouTubers who regularly collaborate with each other in this kind of group and base. But then when you get like creators in Scotland, you'd always tend to find they were just individuals and they would work by themselves for themselves, and it makes you wonder, like, these guys are collaborating together and they're doing much more successfully than those who are working by themselves individually. So that was kind of where the idea came in, like, why are we not doing more collaborative stuff? Why are we not working with other people? People actually ask me this all the time as well. I got asked this a few times, like, do you do videos with people too? And, like, I always do. If somebody, this is the only term and condition, is if somebody comes to me with the right idea for a video, I'll always say yes. It just has to be the right idea because it needs to work for my channel, and it needs to work for whoever else is kind of involved as well, so to speak. But yeah, I mean, like that's really like how it should work, I think. I don't mind working with other creators if they've got an idea that they want to do and they think, oh, this will work well on your channel, but it wouldn't work on mine as such. I'm happy to kind of do something with them and work on stuff like that.
Well, this podcast is a testament to that. You've come on and not to do anything major. You've just come on to have a chat. And to be fair, that's awesome. That's all we really wanted. So, I mean, when I first messaged you, I'm going to be honest, I was sitting there like, he might say no, which is cool, but this would be fucking awesome just to pick your brain about it. And lo and behold, you replied and went, yeah, this would be cool.
I mean, if the idea's right and I feel it, I'll usually say yes. Like, it's not very often I say no, and the reason for that is that I've learned that everything is an opportunity. Whether it doesn't seem like it at the time, everything's an opportunity. Do you know what I mean? And you should always kind of try and capitalise on that. It's probably like part of this like positivity mindset, where if there's an opportunity available, you should try and take it, I think, or you should go for it. And that's always been my kind of thinking. Unless the idea is really fucking terrible, then I would say no.
Yes, come on BR's channel. We want to talk about food. Actually,
sorry, on you go.
No. I've got a question about Marley. Is he single?
I don't know if he talks about it. He does. He does have a girlfriend. I wasn't sure if he talked about it publicly. I'm trying to think. I'm sure I have heard him mention it in a video.
She was at the after party for the match, wasn't she?
Yeah, she was.
Yeah. Sorry, Sam. He's not.
Dang.
Well, there's G's hopes and dreams at the window, or not?
Shut up.
I thought you not to fucking... Alright, so...
I was just as heartbroken when I found out.
It's the eyebrows. There's something about the eyebrows.
I was about to say there's enough eyebrows for the both of you.
Yeah.
They're enticing.
Very.
I'll read a couple more out this chat. Cami from Stenny's asking, do you guys have another YouTube match planned? Like a charity match?
I can't say anything about anything like that just now. There are hopes, but nothing's confirmed and nothing's been agreed to yet, so...
Well, if that's the case, and it does happen, then I'll buy you more than one sewer shot this time.
I'm off the drink.
And if that's
I'm
the
Half
case,
it.
I'm going to lock my beer behind the bar when I go out for a fag.
Probably the best idea.
I mean, not because maybe because someone was nicking it, but maybe just to clarify for myself that if it wasn't nicked, I drank it. But anyway,
I think you probably did drink it, to be fair.
probably did, mate. You know, you're right. 'Cause
It's probably like a comedy sketch, man. Someone just had a really, really long straw, and every time you went out for a fag, just reached on over your pint, just started sitting for dear life.
I'd laugh if after that hour it was bloody Dank, the cheeky bastard, coming in and just swipe.
I was gonna say that.
Like, oh, he's fucked. He was talking to me a lot of shite. I'll take that.
Do you mind if I answer one of the questions Cammy asked in the chat as well, actually? I don't know if it'd be useful for yourself, so I thought it'd be maybe a good one
Of
to
course,
answer.
no, on you go. You can answer anyone that puts it in, that's cool.
So, Cammy asked, he was like, I want to post more on YouTube, but I don't know what to post. This is one of the most common things that I hear from people
okay.
about when it comes to YouTube content. I don't know what to post, I don't know what to make, I don't know what to do. There are two different things when it comes to ideas for content on YouTube. The first one is finding your niche, first of all, and then the second one is finding ideas within that niche for an individual video. The hardest part is people don't find their niche and then just think loosely about video ideas, and because the spectrum is that big, there is nothing really to pick from, so to speak. Whereas if you think of my niche, I do kind of Scottish related content, so that narrows down things that I can do. You can take an idea that you see from something else and transfer it to something within your niche, if that makes sense. So you're not stealing ideas as such, but you're making an idea your own. And I think that's the step everybody misses, is finding that niche, finding that target audience. It's the same way any business. You need to come up with a business plan. Who's your target audience? What are you marketing? And that's the kind of part where you need to have a bit of a business mind. So you've got to find your niche, find your category first, and then start finding videos that fit into that category.
He says it could vlog Stenny games. Aye, okay.
Nobody would watch. I don't even think the fans turn up to the games.
Maybe if you clean the seats at Stenny Park, I might watch. But aye, no good. You've got some really. I mean, everyone when they watch your videos, they see you as this comedic figure, but you've actually got some really solid advice, and I think that's a great trait you've got there, mate. It's opened my eyes to a lot of things as well.
Aaron's watching all this, watching all that, and that was kind of that was how I thought about it when I went into it. Learn as much as you can from everything. Just be an absolute sponge for information. If anybody offers a bit of advice, take it and try and see how you can apply it use it for yourself. Like, one of the best tips I learned, you might actually see I do this very frequently, and there is a reason behind it. I post a video at 2 minutes past the hour rather than on the hour.
Yep. Holy shit,
I do.
By the way, I shat myself. The stream went down and then I refreshed and it's back up. I was like, what did I say? What did I do wrong? But no, we're okay. We're okay. Everyone in the chat, if it's down for you, please do refresh.
If it's down for them, they won't be able to hear that.
Shit. Right, never mind. I've put it back. I've put it in the chat. That's all good. Oh, you went all robot there, Reese. Never mind, that was my internet that went to fuck. I do apologise about that.
We lost Reese. R.I.P.
Sorry.
Yeah, I had to quit out and come back in.
I don't know what happened there. Discord crashed for me, and I think that made XSplit get really confused.
Is the stream still up?
Yes, it's still up. We're still good.
Okay.
It's like Skynet just attacked.
Continue.
Xbox becomes a Terminator.
the way. See, when I turn my Xbox on, sometimes when I play some games on it, the fan goes so mental that I actually think it's coming alive and is going, "Why are you playing Halo at 4 a.m?"
I thought you were going to say just bust out the Terminator tune. I was like, oh fucking, you may as well turn that off.
Just expecting an angry Austrian accent to start screaming at you.
Why are you playing Halo? Now!
Put the controller down.
Put it down.
No, that fuck. I always had this idea when I was younger. Like, obviously, celebrity sat-nav voices are a thing, but they're very scarce. I always wanted a Schwarzenegger sat-nav where it's like, "Turn right. Where are you going?" That was the exit. I always thought I'd patent that, but I think I've been beaten to it.
You can get the Darth Vader one as well. That's a more common one.
Imagine how much more effective drivers would have on the road that if every single time they didn't listen to the sat nav and made a wrong turn or did something dumb, it just screamed and wouldn't stop until they fixed the problem.
I don't think it would make any difference. You've seen drivers and get me to rush hour. It's chaos.
To be honest, you would get someone just going through the middle of Glasgow with their sat nav screaming.
Install. What they should do is have a custom option where you can install your wife's voice. That would be like.
Oh God!
No, you would definitely listen then. I told you to ask for directions. We should have went left 3 miles ago.
In that case, is it possible to recycle sat navs? Because
They would be thrown out the window. Rapid.
the wife of the sat nav.
The wife.
You'd get an increase in people selling sat navs to CEX at least.
Well, that's true. Inflation in the market.
Wait, Batchy, what were you saying about posting after the hour?
Yes.
Alright, okay, so like I was saying, I spent a lot of time like really studying YouTube and learning as much as I could, and I went all the way down into the finite details like scheduled uploads. If you watch carefully on YouTube, everybody schedules uploads for the scheduled times, which is 7 o'clock, 7:30 and 8 o'clock, like on the hours and half hours basically. What happens with that is that at 8 o'clock, YouTube just spam uploads all of those videos, and if you're in those category, you could be landed anywhere from the top to the bottom of the subscriber list when your video comes out. Say one of your subscribers subscribes to 20 other people who upload at 8 o'clock, you could be either at the top or at the bottom, like those 20 on the sub box list. If you wait till just after 7 o'clock and post it 2 minutes past, you're guaranteed to be higher up the list than them and you'll be at the top. So when they click on their sub box, yours will be the first video they see until 7:30 when the next set of scheduled videos comes out.
Basically works out like rush hour then. Just
Pretty
like
much.
get there first.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, because like there is another thing, like Marley kind of believes more in posting at about 6 or 7 minutes past rather than 2 minutes past.
Just push it back to just after 8. So.
I mean, that genuinely is that I always wind him up about that. But he believes in posting at 6 or 7 minutes past, or is it quarter past? Because that's roughly the average time somebody would spend watching a video. So say somebody posts a half an hour video, they'll probably watch it for like 15 minutes or so. So when they post a video, his video is the top one they see when they come straight back to the sub box.
Yeah.
So it's just a kind of technique to try and make sure that your video is seen more, and what happens is it has a 10% increase in views in the first half hour than it normally would, because you're at the top of the sub box, so your video is the first one they see. Because normally when people scan through their sub box at 8 o'clock, 20 new videos uploaded, they'll start on the first one and they'll work their way down.
Yeah.
So you always get a view increase at the start, and the performance of a video in the first hour determines by YouTube's algorithms how well it's going to do over its lifetime. So the more views you can get on an video in the first hour, the better the video will do over the long term.
I must be the only like person that goes to like the oldest sub and like video on their sub box and watches from the oldest to newest.
I mean, maybe there is more people that do it, but I know that there is a 10%. There was a 10% increase when I did it at the time.
Yeah.
I noticed that 10% increase, roughly, give or take. So, like at the time, I was getting maybe like, don't know, hard to say, like 500 views in the first hour, and then it was improving to like 550 kind of thing. It's nothing major, but when you get to the larger numbers, it is a big improvement.
That's good. That's good. Good tip.
See, with viewers, do you get a lot of people stopping you in the street, recognising you? I know you had trouble a couple of months ago with some viewers finding out where you lived and bothering you and that. Maybe it was about a bit of chappy or something. But, you know, does that...
It wasn't quite such chappy, it was more people turning up at my door wanting to get pictures and stuff like that.
No, I can see that. That. When you're out shopping or something, do you encounter people going, "Holy shit, that's Batchy"? Yeah.
I've genuinely got a funny story that happened this morning. This is genuinely true. I feel so fucking bad for this story. Like, there's nothing I could have done in this situation, but I feel so bad for it. I was at Business Gateway for a meeting this morning, just talking about business stuff this morning, and it's at the Falkirk Football Stadium. I was coming down on the way out, and as I was leaving at the same time, I was leaving at the same time as one of the team's football players, and there was about 3 teenagers hanging out the side, and they shouted across, "Can I get a photo kind of thing?" And the player went to go across, and he was like, "No, not you. I was talking about Batchy." And I felt
Damn.
I know.
Fuck it, hell, man.
I just wanted to sink into a hole in the ground because the guy turned around and looked at me as if to say, "Who the fuck are you?" Like, I'm for this club.
Oh, that's so funny.
It was so awkward, but yeah, that was just an experience this morning. But yeah, for that time, I was getting a lot of people coming to my door. It wasn't because of fame or anything like that. Like, I don't want people to think, "Oh, I'm famous." People come to my door. It was purely just because somebody had figured out a YouTuber lived nearby, and word spread like wildfire, and everybody started to come around, kind of thing.
Yeah, but like, I hate that as well. See, like when big YouTubers are always like, people are coming at my door and stuff. It really irks me. Like, as a viewer and as a supporter of someone, why would you do that to them?
Yeah.
Maybe I'm just more mature than, like, because I'm 26, so maybe I've just got the mindset of someone who just, obviously that's not something that's okay to do. But I guess a lot of people have like younger people that view them and stuff, so I just think it's horrible.
There's this weird kind of thing with social media where and I'm not saying like a sense of ownership, but I was speaking to somebody whose son watches my videos, and apparently she was telling me that her son describes her as describes me as his YouTuber kind of thing. Like, he's like not almost in a kind of possessive way. It's like, that's the YouTuber I watch more than anybody because I like his videos, I most relate to him kind of thing. Yeah. So like, and there's this other thing as well. There's this thing, like, I can't remember exactly what the name of it is. Syndicate's talked about it a few times before. But when you watch somebody's content for long enough, you feel like you have a connection with that person, despite the fact that you've never met them. So I think a mixture of those two things is kind of what gives people this thinking that they don't have to adhere to traditional boundaries and stuff like that, because they feel like they already know you and they feel like you're friends as such. But the reality is, I've never met this person before, and I don't know who they are. I maybe past them, like, talk to them now and again in comments or whatnot, but I don't physically know them and I've never ever met them, but they feel like they know me.
Yeah. I know
that's a scary thought, to be honest.
Yeah.
It is.
There is actually a kind of a diagnosis for something like that. I can't remember what it's called. Syndicate was talking about it. You probably better look it up, actually. But there is this thing where people kind of they feel like they know somebody and they feel like they're friends with somebody because they've watched enough of their videos, kind of thing.
Yeah. But I feel like people should be able to, like, I mean, I watch people and I'm like, oh, we'd be like amazing friends, like I feel like they're my friend, blah blah blah, but I would never like go and find out where they live and knock on their door, like, because I just know that that's not okay.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it's just this kind of current generation,
I think it is
mostly the younger people, I think.
Yeah, I think it is mostly younger people, and it's a shame. And the parent, like, I've seen videos where the parents are encouraging them, and when the YouTubers aren't happy that their kids are at their door and stuff, they start like bashing the YouTuber and stuff. And I'm just like, you're the adult, you should know better.
Yeah. I mean, I'll be honest, I do try and go out my way to attend as many events as possible throughout the year.
Yeah.
I do go up and down the country quite regularly and a bit to try and meet as many people as possible. I'll be honest, meet and greets are not really my thing. If I bump into somebody in the street, I'm okay having conversations, but I'm not like a socially outward person, you would describe it. Somebody who likes to kind of talk to people. I do it because I know that it's like part of what I do, and I still think it's cool to meet people who have similar interests, but I'm not like one of those social people who'd go out my way to talk to everybody all the time. So I do these events purely just to meet people, so that there is this kind of chance to meet me, and they don't feel like they need to come to my house to meet me, kind of thing. And that's, I suppose that's one of the main reasons I do it.
Yeah.
I've noticed on Instagram, I don't know if you know about it, what's with the whole Batchy HD edits?
Batchy HD edits is a weird one. So there is actually a backstory to this. The two girls that run it, I used to go to school with their auntie, and that's how they found my channel through YouTube, I believe, and like kind of became like kind of avid viewers of the channel as such. And then they eventually found out, I don't know if their auntie was there with them while they were watching a video one time, and she was like, oh, I went to school with him, kind of thing. And it just kind of progressed from there. They started making this Batchy HD edits account on Instagram, and I shared it one time, kind of thing, and they thought it was incredible and kept going. So yeah, shout out to Poppy and Lucy who run that.
Oh, we keep losing Reese.
Why?
That's fucking mental.
Tesco internet.
Number internet sounds quite good, but today things like this.
I know.
But today it's just like, nah, fuck you.
It's your dad, man. He's flicking the on and off switch like.
He wants you to save the game and come offline for the night.
He's not letting it out.
It's bedtime.
I'll do this fuck wheel.
Okay, we're gonna round it up for tonight. There's one thing I do want to ask. It's a really off-topic question for me, and then these guys can find something. So, Batchy, tenants or carling?
Neither.
You blasphemous bastard!
The reason I say neither is because I don't talk about this. You probably never hear me talk about this, but I've actually got celiac disease, which means I can't have anything with
Oh, right, yeah.
yeast and stuff in it. But I'm not one of the. I do need to eat gluten free, but I hate fucking talking about it because I hate those cunts that are like, I'm gluten free. I'm a fucking celiac and I want to punch them in the fucking
It's like
face.
people with it in their Twitter bio and whatnot.
Yeah. Shut the fuck up, mate. Get a grip.
So, when you're on a night out, then what's your preferred party drink then?
I need to go cider because it's the only good thing I can drink.
Aye, fair dues.
I'm not a big fan of cider, but fucking it's either that or not drink, so cider it is.
Tenants, man, but understandably, that's a good answer, right? I wouldn't.
No, genuinely, I did used to drink Tenants. I'll give you that. Before I found out, but yeah, I can't drink it anymore. Sadly.
Glasgow's finest to me. It's either Tenants or Jack and Coke.
Or Venoms.
Oh, I love a good Venom.
Yeah.
Fucking Venoms, I hate them, man.
You've just got me who's a
bad night.
Or you've just got me who's a pure woman with my Tia Marie and orange juice.
Oh, fucking every single bar I've visited. Do you serve a Tia Maria and orange? And I'm like, fuck's sake, Reese.
Did you get your purse out to pay for this, Reese, or
No, I'm a Batman wallet.
It's just, I don't mind when you do it, but see how when you're nervous and you're patting me in the shoulder, like, can you go ask for a Tia Maria and orange? And I'm like, no!
I'm a very nervous person.
I love a pina colada, Reese, but I don't order it every time I'm out.
There's a Venoms equivalent up in Aberdeen. I'm trying to remember what it's called. Rocket Fuel, I think.
Oh,
I've
aye.
heard of it.
Yeah.
Heard of it.
Well, it's kind of similar to the Venom, just a couple of different ingredients. It's not really like served down in England. We were down on an event-based thing down in Birmingham, myself and Marley, and it was like an industry party, so it was like free drink kind of thing. It was for the game Warframe. Don't know if you've heard of Warframe.
Oh,
yeah.
So me and Marley have never fucking played Warframe, genuinely honest, right? But they wanted YouTubers present at the thing, so like they invited Marley along and stuff like that, and we came along. And we went up to the bar and we're like, so like, you got a Venom, mate? They're like, what is that? We're like, oh, it's like, this is what it is. We told them the ingredients. The guy looked like, you want me to make a cocktail here, mate? I'm like, it's not a cocktail. Just fucking pour the drink kind of thing. And we didn't realise that it was free. Before we did, we were like, fuck it, mate. We drank about £1,000 worth of Venoms that night.
Wow.
They had one of those photo booths where it had like the Warframe branding, so you could get like a picture with your pals at this Warframe event and stuff like that with free drinks, and we fucking fell through it and broke it because we were rusty.
Few drinks. See if you see a car tailing you. See if you see a car tailing you with a blonde guy driving it next time. That's because you said free drinks.
You see an extremely hairy guy in the boot, that would be me.
And you just see a ginger guy sellotape to the roof. I'm probably there, unwillingly.
The best of it was though, like they had cameras at that event where they were going around interviewing fans of the game to talk about the game. They were like, so like, what's your favourite stuff? And we never knew fuck all about the game. We were just there for the free bar, basically. So we spent the entire night running to the bar, getting a drink, and then trying to dodge the cameramen to hide in a corner, and then try to dodge them back again. It was almost like a game of like cat and mouse. They were almost chasing us around the room, trying to catch us. Fucking like 3 tables ahead of them. Like, oh, they moved up again, move up again.
That would have been
An
some
absolute
classy
riot.
footage to see.
Getting
honestly.
interviewed, man, and you're like, I like the frames of war.
We were fucking steaming that night. I'll be honest with you. Like I said,
Go Bungie.
we smashed we smashed the photo booth, obviously, because we tried to squeeze 8 of us into it, and it was designed for 3. We were all fucking steaming as well. Then they turned off the music, and the party was kind of going. DJ was packing down and stuff, and we were all just jumping, shouting, "Here we fucking go!" You won't be surprised to find security had to chase us for the venue.
You make my
But
out seem fucking shite, honestly.
I don't.
We always get carried away, man. Always.
Listen, Matt, if you want to break something, we can smash Catty's TVs if you want. I don't mind.
I mean, like every time I'm in Catty, I'm too drunk to realise there is TVs. I'm too drunk to realise my own fucking name. Never mind the telly.
Matthew. Who the fuck's Matthew?
I'm the Glaswegian BR, dick.
2 pints, prick.
Right, guys, fire a couple more questions for Batchy, or is it a wee laugh? Or if you want, we could hit up a funny article before we end. What do you think?
I've got one more
Article.
question inspired from your beer question, which is: do you like a blue riband or a gold bar?
You're not going to like the answer to this question either, because they both contain gluten.
We'll just say gold bar, alright?
I will go with that.
Wrong answer.
So usually in this podcast, what we do is we all send in articles that catch our eye, whether serious or funny, and we read over them and we have a laugh, either taking the piss out of them or talking seriously about them. And I thought, since we've got you, our Scottish comedian, in here, Batchy, we're going to read one that Reese sent in that's quite funny. I've given you the permissions, and so if you go to articles, you'll be able to click in the article and read it yourself as well. But the title of this article, which, Jesus Christ, by the way, is Man is hospitalised after injecting his own semen to treat back pain.
Jesus Christ.
Well,
So we find ourselves at the tip of the rabbit hole.
Yes. So, before I read into it, I want to read this statement from the article that was going to sum up the professional opinion of it, which is simply: this is the first reported case of semen injection for use as a medical treatment. And might I state, I am not surprised.
I mean, I'll be honest. That stuff comes out of your body for a reason.
Yes.
It ain't designed for going back in. You end up with arm babies.
Which, if you look in the image, is pretty much what happened. Right, so I'll continue to read it. Oh, I can't believe I'm reading this. Reese, this is the fucking classiest thing you've ever found for this podcast, and I salute you. The semen reportedly entered the man's blood vessels and muscles. Pardon me. An X-ray revealed air trapped beneath the man's skin, and he was immediately hospitalised, according to this study. Here's the thing, though: his back pain reportedly subsided, and he discharged his thing without having the infected area drained.
The real point to take away from that, though, is it fixed his back.
Yeah.
I'll need to try and remind the wife that when I'm. Honestly, it cures back pain. Trust me. I read it in an article one time.
How to Save Your Marriage 101.
Straight for Ireland, they all places.
It was an Irish doctor. They knew what they were talking about. He was probably drunk at the time, but he knew what he was talking about.
So I love at the end of this article that they're saying the study concludes with a warning that medical experimentation is dangerous and it's risky for untrained individuals to inject themselves with it. And I'm like, hold on, are you meaning to tell me you have trained individuals who inject semen into people, or am I reading this really wrong?
Just the very last bit is just translation. Don't inject yourself with anything without a doctor's approval, including semen.
This is a specialised semen injector.
My
It's
back's
one of
sore.
those.
Let me go
It's
get
one
my
of those.
sock.
It's one of those fucking world protection kind of disclaimers, though, isn't it? It's like packets of peanuts coming with signs that say "warning may contain nuts." Do you know what I mean? Like, it's for,
I know fucking geniuses at work.
it's for the kind of cunts that go out and walk into wars like those idiots, just to kind of clarify that, by the way, if you do this, you might hurt yourself. Don't
But,
hit
like,
yourself
the
with
thing
a
that gets
pole.
me- the thing that gets me is, why did he think injecting semen into himself was going to cure his back pain? Like,
Pretty sure there's a
where-
bit in it that talks about how he saw it somewhere.
Do you know what's probably happened, right? Do you know what's happened? He'll have been sitting at a gaff smoking a joint one time with his pal who's been sitting across with him smoking another joint. They've probably got about 8 or 9 in. And they've been like, here, mate, I heard a story. And that's how it started.
I was going to say, probably getting this or
His
something.
production.
What's that?
The first injection probably wasn't for his body, I'll tell you that.
Oh,
Well,
Jesus.
see, the real question though, like, I mean, fair enough, this is, they've explained quite a lot of detail here, but what they've missed is, like, this guy wanked into a syringe.
Yes.
Let's
You
not
bring up a
fucking-
good point.
Let's
you bring
not
up a
like
good
colour
point.
this as anything other than what it is. This guy had a wank into a syringe and then injected it into his body.
What I'm more impressed with is you've got the radius size of a syringe. And then you have to think of what's happened. This guy's got some damn precision.
Or a very, very, very small penis.
Yes.
I don't know what one's worse.
You better not say anything though, because he might try start injecting that with semen as well.
Just in his
Give
head,
him the
like,
idea.
it's just like, in his head, he's like, come on, Martin, thread the needle. You get it in, Martin, you can do it.
Trained for this.
But here's another question for it. Did they inject it straight away or did they leave it to cool?
We did test in the dog, we know it works.
Tested on animals first.
Dog approved.
Medically approved.
I mean, I'll be honest, he maybe kind of thought, you know, sperm does have its place on the inside of the body, and he's maybe just took that a little bit too literally and just thought, maybe the arms count. It is his arms that he's ejected in, innit?
Aye.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
Does the guy have a bird by any chance?
well, see,
Not
the thing
anymore.
is, right, in my thinking, like, he'll be thinking to himself, like, my sperm creates life. Surely it must be able to cure back.
Do you want to know what
Logic.
the guys, the doctors in Dublin called the case study?
Oh God.
What?
Seemingly harmless back pain, an unusual presentation of a
Wow.
subcutaneous abscess. I don't know what that second word means, but
Just the beginning bit is just wow.
Semen.
no. But surely when they went, what title can we come up with this? There was one snigger in the back with, "I know what we can."
Never mind. Oh,
I'm looking at the picture here and I see it's all kind of gathered in his forearm. There's a real opportunity being missed here. You know what he should do? He should just put like a wee puncture just at the tip, just at the top of your wrist. And if all he does is like presses down on that wee bit of the arm, it will shoot out like Spider-Man, so he can call himself Spider-Man.
One of those adverts that you see at the
Go
side
out
of a Pornhub video. Doctors hate him.
All he needs to do is, you know, just kind of twist his wrist and flick his arm, and he's just running around fighting crime with his sperm.
flip.
That'll certainly fucking drop the crime rate in Britain.
Especially if you like this guy shoots spunk out his arm. Like, what the fuck's going on here? I mean, how do you respond to that though? It's like, how do you disable an attacker? You fucking totally knock him off guard, and like, that's probably the best way to do it. Let's be honest. You know what I mean? Who's expecting that?
Never mind peas stored on the balls, man. Sperm's kept in the veins.
I mean, I was going to get into this at some point. That's all we have time for tonight. What a great way to end it. Batchy, thank you again for coming on to the podcast. It has been a great laugh talking with you, and it's been really interesting as well.
Aye.
Where can the listeners find you?
Yes.
I'd suggest they don't, to be honest.
From the bridge at
For the sake of their own
Cloud
mental health.
Well,
Go on, plug yourself. Go on.
yeah. Well, plug yourself in a really unbeknownst
type-
channel.
Just type Batchy anywhere on the internet. I'm sure something will come up that I've done.
Well,
As long as it's not the Police Scotland website, I'd avoid that.
okay. Well, I am Glaswegian BR, your host. You can find me on YouTube, Twitter with the same handle. Sam, guys.
Yeah, I'm Smiling Sammy on YouTube and Samantha MC92 on Twitter and Instagram.
And Reese.
I'm Swagmaster on Twitch and YouTube at the moment. Just go away Twitch for the time being until I can actually get the YouTube properly sorted.
Fucking Swagmaster, I just love it.
Hey, Cameron was the one that came up with the name, and I'm a lazy fuck, so I'm not changing it.
Well, that's an understatement. And G and Cammy like to rename Nameless.
And I'm Cameron.
just-
You can find me in the bins.
But no,
If you want to watch his YouTube, it's Melo Bandito.
There's nothing there.
You liar, we've
you
seen
can
it.
find us all in the same spot every Friday for the Five Guys Talking Shite podcast. Once again, Batchy, thank you very much, and we hope to be hearing from you soon. And whenever you are bored and want to come talk some shit, we are always open to you joining us.
Right?
Hey.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Anytime, dude, and thank you for coming on. Right,
Aye, honestly, thanks.
Thank you.
that's
It's a
it
good
for the
laugh.
stream, and thank you for tuning in. Cheerio.